Hey everybody, I just thought I would do a post-Christmas video. I've been traveling for the holidays. I was down in North Carolina, had a great time, and just got back yesterday. Had a little bit of bumps in our traveling day, I should say. It wasn't perfect traveling day, but spent a little bit longer in airports than I wanted to. But today I actually woke up sort of refreshed, and I started the day and cleaned my hobby room. I did sort of, even though it's not New Year's or like a New Year thing, I just decided it was time to do a big sweep through the hobby room, reorganize. It was amazing to me just where I place stuff. I think I have places for everything, and I think I'm somewhat organized, but it all falls apart eventually, and so I had to really do that. And now I'm just sitting down with the clean room and just going to talk a little bit about Christmas loot, and a couple other items, and then I will do a New Year's video separate to this. Plans reflecting back on painting for the new year and looking forward to projects in painting and things like that. I will say that the biggest Christmas gift when I was away, because we celebrated Christmas at my house kind of last night because we had things under the tree that we couldn't open because we were traveling, and so we did that last night. But while away on Christmas Day, Studio Tomahawk announced the actual second edition and put out some little videos and little information on it. I'm going to do a reaction video to that, just my thoughts on it. But that was an amazing thing that happened on Christmas Day. I just love that. And so I was away during that, and I was really pleasantly surprised chatting with folks on Facebook. Lots of us like Rusty, Chris, and Curtis, and lots of folks that on the Musty Wargamers page were talking about it, and on other spots on Facebook. And so that was a lot of fun. And so yeah, I'll mainly just show my Wargaming loot. This year was actually a little bit bigger than usual, but I also got a couple other non-Wargaming items. One of them, because I do the Heresy Hump Days sometimes, or used to, I plan on doing more. I did get Midsommar, which is a film by Ari Aster, who was the director of Hereditary, which was one of my favorite horror films in recent years. And so I've really been wanting to see this. I wanted to really see it in the theater, but I didn't. And so I thought I'd get it when it came out. And it's one of those situations where I pretty much knew I wanted to buy it after seeing their work, and so I didn't worry so much about whether it was a rental versus a buy. But I actually, in this case, didn't buy it. I got it as a gift. And so looking forward to watching that. Haven't seen it yet. I got a couple of cooking things because, as I mentioned earlier in the year, since going to more of a plant-based diet and really radically changing my diet, I've been cooking a lot more than I used to. And my wife got me an air fryer as well as an Instapot, which I never had before. I had a crock pot. But I do a lot of cooking every week, like making meals in bulk and stuff like that. And so it was kind of neat to have some extra tools in the arsenal. And so I got those. And then from like a wargaming perspective, the big thing that you see in front of you is I did get the Marvel Crisis Protocol, and so I got the core set, and then I got the Hulk as well as MODOK. Very classic character. Hulk's obviously a classic character too. These are expansions, and as I understand it, they have some extras. Like, I think they have things where you'd think I'd be more up on this because I am quite interested in it, but I think they have things where you can use them either as a player, but you can also use them as sort of like an event that you go against. I believe there are some different ways to use them in the game. I know lots of folks are using them just as players on there. So I am interested in definitely in modeling these up, and it'll be first time I haven't really used plastics anymore. I mainly use metal for most of my stuff, both Warhammer Fantasy and French Indian War stuff, so it'll be neat to do some plastics. But I'm not going to do any unboxings today, but just for those of you that know nothing about this, really, I did the video on it, and so it really comes with what I'd said it does, but you have all these sort of characters here. So you have classic characters like Spider-Man, Dr. Octopus, Iron Man, Ultron, Captain America, Black Widow, Red Skull, and there's some others too. These are bigger models, and so it'll be neat to paint in like the 40 scale, 40 millimeter, I believe they're in. I haven't opened this up yet, and so I am excited to open that up. And yeah, as far as I suppose I'll touch on this in the new year, but the Marvel Crisis Protocol, it's going to be a fun thing. I have more than one friend that's gotten into it locally that I'll be playing games with, and allow me to use my stuff I already had for superhero games. And that's I see this as a bit of a fun thing to be able to play. I don't see myself getting heavily into like tournaments, because I think there are actual tournaments and stuff happening. I see this as a way to paint up my favorite superhero characters and be able to throw them down on the board, roll some dice, have some fun. I do think that there's a bit of strategy to the game from what I've seen. However, I still think this would be a cool just, throwing some stuff down with your friends and having fun, seeing some superheroes smash down, seeing how your favorite characters would do like when you're playing on the board. And I just think it'll be a bit of a side thing for me. Like I don't see myself this being one of my main games. And so it's funny because I actually was really looking forward to it, and I am really looking forward to painting these up, and I will. But I just see it as sort of something that to do with a few friends, but I don't see myself going nuts with it, if that makes sense. But yeah, so it should be cool. More to see on that in the future. I got another Armada ship actually for Christmas too. Now, there are some new ships coming out that I'm actually really excited about, and they're coming out shortly. But this is one that's been out for a while. I've been just steadily adding ships over time. I don't really rush into it. There is a little bit of worry if they cancel the game at one point, or that if they don't produce more, that I'll mess on something that I didn't get. But I haven't been getting too excited. This is a large ship, and so this is the Liberty. And the interesting thing about this one, as I understand it, just from a basics perspective, is it is a frontal assault ship for the Rebels. Now, most of you that are some semi-familiar with the game know that Rebels historically, they've had a mix, but historically their most powerful ships have always been the type of ships that shoot from the sides, and they're not as frontal like your Star Destroyers, which are classic frontal assault. So this ship is a Rebel ship that is a powerhouse in firing from the front. And you can see even here as this wider firing arc, kind of like in the front, kind of like a Star Destroyer in some ways. And so I've avoided picking it up mainly for that reason, just because a lot of my strategy in the past has been to leverage the main ships that shoot from the sides, and I've just not immediately picked this one up for that reason. However, lots of your corvettes shoot from the front, or strong from the front, or that's their strong area. And there's ways to use this ship for sure, within the Rebels. And so it'll be neat. It'll throw another mix in to things. Now, I'll talk a bit more about Armada in my gameplay for 2020. But what I would just say with this that's kind of neat, Star Wars the movie, I haven't seen it yet. It's come out, and oftentimes the last few years Star Wars has come out for around Christmas. And aside from Star Wars even now coming out around Christmas, the movies to watch, and I realize that this has nothing to do with like Christmas for those that are celebrating it for religious purposes, but for me, growing up as a kid, some of my fondest Christmases as a kid were when I woke up to, in particular, the one that I was really loved was when the toys for Empire Strikes Back were under the tree. And so I'd gotten, even though I never got the Millennium Falcon, and I was so jealous of kids, I don't know why, because I'd gotten pretty cool things as a kid for Christmas, but I just don't know why, even though I asked for it year after year, I never got the Millennium Falcon. But I, as a kid, I got like the AT-AT, like that big walker. I got, like the snow speeders, and I just love the sound of the electric when you put the batteries in the lights and the electric, and putting the action figures in, that I loved as well. And I just was so high on Star Wars merchandise that came out of Christmas as a little kid, that it shaped the experience of Christmas mornings for a couple of years. And it's really carried with me those memories as to an adult. When I remember the look of my grandparents' tree as a kid, I remember those things under it, and like it just has a very good feeling about it. And it's kind of funny because the last couple of years since playing Armada and X-Wing to a degree, I've gotten a couple of things for it under the tree, and in some ways it's really brought back those memories. I love this game. I mean, this is one of my favorite games that I play. And I do see myself continually investing in it and continually playing it. But I just kind of noted to myself how much I enjoyed getting something that was related to Star Wars that when I opened it, Christmas morning. It was just very cool. And it's funny because I'm not like sorry about that. I'm not like a tremendous Star Wars fan. Like I wouldn't say that I'm somebody that could quote every single line from the movies, and that I'm just out there waiting for tickets and looking at all of the trailers over the year to see. Like I know very little about this current movie that's coming out, but it's just those things from when I was a kid and just my relationship now with the Armada game that just really made me excited to get this. And so yeah. So that's about it for that. One thing I didn't mention is I picked up myself. I got an extra pack of dice for Crisis Protocol. So I actually picked these up. And yeah, just in case, because I hear it's sometimes good to have extra. And so I knew I was going to get this at one point in the future, so I ended up just picking them up. But that's mainly it. I haven't been hobbying because I've been away, and I haven't been hobbying since back, but right here I had to move stuff to the side. It's stuff I've got prepared to be primed for the most part, and I'm getting ready to work on all that stuff that I've done in the last videos. And I think that's it. I don't think there's really anything else for me to show. I am interested. I did see somebody on Facebook within one of the groups showed how big this guy was to the other Hulk that I did. I think he's slightly smaller, although the other Hulk has a different type of proportions, the Metal Knight Models one and this one. I think he's more evenly proportioned than the Knight Models one. I think this is actually a really nice miniature. I mean, I haven't unboxed or anything yet, but I think it's a really nice looking miniature. And so I am really excited to do that one. However, I also really like this one. I think that I love how they're investing in classic characters for Marvel, like this. And so I'm really interested in that one as well. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the holidays, and I'm going to do a couple more videos in the future that you'll see, just for New Year's and for my reaction to the Musket Tomahawks stuff and info about that. But until then, I hope everybody's enjoying their time with friends and family and enjoying the holidays, and talk to you later.